Welcome to Small Business Success Talks Summer of Strategy series, where I interview guests to get their expertise in marketing and business development to help us all plan accordingly for the rest of 2023. Summer is a perfect time to evaluate how well, or maybe not so well, the year is going, determine what the gaps are, and learn from some of the best in the business building industry, their strategies and tactics to close the gap and build momentum in your own business and life. I am your host, Christy Smallwood, and let's get strategic. Well, Seth, thank you so much for being my guest during our summer strategy with Small Business Success Talk. This is going to be so much fun. You are one of my MPN guys as well in the podcast network. So I love being able to pull other experts into this. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, you do have your own show, Entrepreneur's Enigma.
I actually have two on the network, but one's on hiatus, and I'm not sure if I'm going to bring it back. But there was 30 episodes. No, there was 80 episodes of Digital Marketing Dive, and that was this got a little too chaotic to have two podcasts. So, Entrepreneurs Enigma took over.
But you do because you do that twice a week, right?
I did it twice a week. Yeah, I'm nuts. I have a very big pipeline with the podcast for some strange reason. People want to talk about themselves.
Shocker.
And they talk about their journey. It's shocker. So I have no shortness of episodes. I'm scheduled through October of 2023 with shows. Now I'm done through the 31st of August, which means they're not all edited yet.
Right.
But they are done.
Done. Nice. Congratulations. I'm working on that in this podcast.
The thing is, I just do a lot of podcasts during the week. I do a lot of interviews because I use it as a business. Here's a tip. I use it as a business development strategy because how else instead of me going to someone saying, "Hey, I have a tool I want you to use. I want you to pay me for," or "I have a strategy I can sell you." How about come on my podcast and talk about yourself for 20, 30 minutes? No strings attached. And they're like, of course I'll talk to you. And then it turns into a relationship. And the relationship eventually turns into a potential working relationship.
Absolutely. I've done that before. Yeah. When I started this podcast, that was kind of the intent behind it. Mm-hmm. It's evolved from there because I just enjoy spotlighting small businesses so much. But with and of course venturing out into bringing my experts, my peers in to let's talk strategy.
That's a good strategy right there. Is using your podcast as a marketing tool, not just as a way to make it big as a podcaster, because there's not that many spots at the top of the charts. And everyone talks about there's dozens of entrepreneurship podcasts. Some of them are garbage. Maybe mine is. I don't know. But some of them are garbage. Some of them are good. Some of them are excellent. But I'm not no John Lee Dumas here. I don't have that kind of clout. But I can my little circle. So.
Well, that's why I leave my awards on the video over here.
Amen. You should. You earn them.
I have credibility, so
yeah, absolutely. I just have 3D printed versions of my logo. So that's all I have.
Ooh, nice.
My nieces made them for me, so I'm very happy about that.
Aw. All right. So I'm going to ask you like I'm asking everybody else, because this is a new question that I've been asking people. When you walk into the room, what would you want people to already know about you?
The non-positive thing is, here comes crazy Seth. The positive thing is, here comes Seth. He's going to be full of great knowledge, and he's fun and enjoyable. And yeah, he's so crazy, but we're happy he's here. So.
Oh, I love that. We're happy he's here. Yeah, that's a good one.
So minus sans the groans. So.
Well, you always keep us hopping during our month. Well, not so much monthly, but our MPN
quarterly calls.
Things.
Yeah,
I love it. All right. So, what about what you do? Your expertise. What is it that sparks you and keeps you on fire for doing it?
Oh, it's just so much fun. I get to work with different brands, doing the websites, building out their social media plans, helping them out, helping them get found in Google, then helping them get refound in Google, and helping them get refound in Google again. Every time that Google changes something, they drop, we fix it, and it goes back up. That you don't have to hit your phones. That was not a repeat. It glitched in the matrix there. No, I said that 3 times because kind of as a
it
joke,
changes
kind of
all the time.
all the time. Like we're in one right now. So I love helping my clients. I love it's so much fun for me.
That's awesome. So, okay, because we're in summer strategy, what are
Yes.
some of the best advice you have for small business owners?
Yes. You see this thing, well, you may not see this thing, but I'll say it for the audio listeners. The phone is your friend. Literally pick up your phone and talk to it. No, hit record first and then talk to it. And don't do it directly in the social media app. Do it in your camera app because then you can have more flexibility. You're not forced to post it right away. And I would say don't post it right away. Sit on it for a few minutes. Finish your walk. Watch it back again. Maybe download an app to edit it, shorten it a little bit, give it some ums and ahs. But literally, that's all you really need to do as a strategy and as a tactic is take your phone out and talk about something that you're passionate about in your business. If you're a coffee, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to call it this way, but a coffee espresso maker person, and you want to talk about the best espresso, whatever the hell it is.
Espresso, the stuff that makes you
Espresso.
go zing.
Exactly. Those, you want to talk about the best brands and stuff. What you want to do is you want to talk about it, take your phone out, talk about the different things. This is the reason why the espresso machines don't work right, but make it personable. You're not NBC, you're not NPR. Like I always say to podcasters, we're not Terry Gross. Like, and we're not gonna be. You're just not gonna be. I don't care how good you are, how buttoned up you are. There's some podcasters that really go into it and it sounds really good. But mostly the interview podcasts are gonna have people joking around and an occasional burp, occasionally. And that you don't catch because they're really short and you don't catch them unless you listen very carefully. So I've heard some of the best podcasters belch on their podcasts.
Look, for those who
They weren't privy to our previous conversation.
Right, the proverbial green room inside joke is I ate Mexican food before getting on here, and Seth thinks I'm real brave for that, and I'm like, I just hope I don't.
I'm actually drinking seltzer, so I think I'm higher risk actually for Belgian Mexican food. But on that note, here's another example: Mexican restaurants, their stuff is gorgeous, and hopefully it tastes good, and if it's good, it makes you belch. And the idea is you take your phone out, you make something nifty in the kitchen, you take a picture of it, you send it to Instagram, you talk about it, you say, hey, or even better, here's a 5 to 10-second clip on how you make a great enchilada. People eat that stuff up, pun fully intended.
Well done, Seth.
Got myself in the back there. There we go. But no, but seriously, I mean, their phone is your best friend. You can do so much on it now. There's editing. There's what's it? Cut, trim, cut. With it's not the right name, but it's the one that goes along with TikTok. It's free because they want you to put the stuff on TikTok. Right? It's very easy to post on TikTok for a reason because it's done by TikTok. Cam cut. That's what it's called. Cam cut. And use that. Edit your video. Go in the Cam cut. You can even in CamCut duplicate yourself. No, I don't do it because that's terrifying for me.
Duplicate yourself. Wait, what?
You can like do a dance, pause it, and then change your clothes or do whatever you want, and go on the other side and do a dance, and you literally can like splice it so that it's right next to each other.
Oh, so this is where like the same person can be 5 different musicians all on one screen.
Yeah, and it's easy to do it this way because it's not like Adobe Premiere. And it's the one that's the video one, or is that the audio one? Adobe Audition's the audio one. Adobe Premiere is the one that you'd have to go in there and have a master's degree in video editing to use. CamCut, or what's the one I have now? I have another one on my phone that I use all the time, and it is I'm jiving here. It's called InShot. InShot is fantastic. It's like $10. which is expensive for a smartphone app.
Mm-hmm.
But it does so much stuff. It does collages. It does you can cut your stuff together. It gives you a music library. Christy's taking notes.
InShot. Okay, got it.
InShot. InShot, all one word. And like these things are supercomputers. When we were kids, a floppy disk. Christy's a lot younger than me, but floppy disks.
Probably not that much younger. My floppy disk was like that big.
It was the 5.5 were actually floppy and all that stuff. That held less than what a 2-second video would take nowadays. So invest in a good phone. It doesn't have to be the top of the line ones that are $1,000. Just get a Samsung, get an Apple. They have a decent camera and talk to it after you hit record.
Because if you're talking otherwise without hitting record, it's paying attention to you anyway. That's when you're going to get targeted with ads and all that kind of stuff.
This thing listens to you.
Yeah, it does.
It's really creepy. Yeah, it is. But that's my biggest strategy. Is just, and I'm not even that good at it. But like, it's just it's kind of remembering this. The phone's in your pocket all the time. Yet you forget to use it all the time. It's the weirdest thing. So.
It is really one of your best marketing tools.
Oh, absolutely. You don't need a red camera or a big camcorder or whatever that they have nowadays. You need your smartphone. They're doing full-length movies on smartphones now. It's insane.
So wild to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I turned 49 next month, Seth. And I can't believe I'm saying it out loud for everybody to hear, but
no, it's just a number.
It is just a number. Next year, I'm planning big stuff for the entire year because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I'm 42, so I had the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy year. 42 is the meaning of life in that book. Don't ask me why it is. It's been a while since I read the book. It's over there. But it's the meaning of life and everything about it. And Douglas Adams talks about why it is, and I forget why it is, but I was like, 42, meaning of life in the universe. Yay. It's gonna be a fun year. So
I don't even know if I remember what 42 is like. That's okay. Probably not, and don't need to remember that. I'm moving on.
Moving on, absolutely.
So what else you got for us? So use your phone. Your phone is your best friend.
Yes. Also, don't get stuck in the doom scrolling. After you look at your phone, you upload the video, then you get stuck in it. Put down your phone. Put it down, walk away, do something else. Another strategy I have is always, like the videos you can have, before you go off your walk, like plan out what you're going to say. Not verbatim, you're not going to read like this and be a robot and say, this is my video, blah, 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 blah. Just jot down a few ideas, go for your walk, leave the paper behind. Just by writing down those ideas right then, you're going to remember maybe a third of what you wrote down because you're not bringing the sheet with you. Because you don't want to look down and look at the sheet, but you'll remember 2 or 3 things. And then before you know it, you'll be talking for 15 minutes. And then you'll have a big regret session later when you have to edit it down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like you write down 5 points and you talk about 2. That's great. Again, back to the smartphone, but that's your best friend. Write your stuff down, script stuff out. I know our friend Carrie Barrett on the program's Emmy Award on the network is an Emmy award-winning TV host, and she's all about scripting stuff. But she talks about that too. Like you just don't over prep. Like, and it's kind of counterintuitive. You practice and you just do it, and you can always edit it later.
I have worked really hard because I am one of those. I can talk to a post. Like nobody has. This is probably why I'm in podcast.
You're in Louisville, of course.
Well, only child. We lived in the country. I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I have an imagination.
Well, there you go. That's
leave that there. But I've had to work really hard to get myself down to here's the one point I want to talk about.
It's so hard.
It is very hard because that one point I can talk about for 10 minutes for one point.
But that's the reason why I say write down 5, take 2. Don't take 1 because sometimes 1. If you're talking for 20 minutes, I think you've got enough content there. But if you but have 2 have 1 in your pocket in case the first one lasts a minute, and you're like, I wanted 5. So you have another one in your back pocket. But if you're going 20 minutes on one topic, that's great. Go Stop when you're done the topic. Don't have to feel like you have to do two. Bring it back to your desk, sit down. And another thing a lot of people don't realize is that keyboards nowadays that are Bluetooth can connect to your phone. Did you know that? You can pair your keyboard to your phone.
Look, I probably should know that, but not one time have I considered it.
Oh, I text message all day long from my keyboard. On the Logic keyboards,
What?
you have 1, 2, and 3 keyboards you can hook up. And I hit number 2, that's my phone. I hit number 3, that's my tablet. And 1 is my computer. And so I can sit and type. If people are like, how are you texting so fast? Stop it. I'm like, I'm just typing, hitting enter. Typing, hitting enter. And I'm writing books. And people are like, stop texting that way. Other people are like, how are you texting? But that's the thing. So you want to write your captions or your links on Instagram, hook it up to your keyboard, you'll type it better, and you won't have to delete and redo it when you mistype the URL.
Nor will I have to like shoot all that content over to my desktop computer and wait till I'm there and then have to reload it somewhere. Oh my gosh, what a game changer.
There's your strategy. Yeah, hook your keyboard, your Bluetooth keyboard up to your Bluetooth phone.
And I use a Bluetooth keyboard, so I don't have to use one on my laptop, but not one time did I think of putting it to the phone.
Yeah.
Well, that's gold right there, Seth.
That's what you're gonna do after the call. And then you'll see a lot more content from Christy on the Instagram with long verbose.
Right. All those words I have, I'll just type it out.
There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on what you do, because you have your own media company, you work with people on their digital marketing, like you said, getting them listed on Google. So what are some cool examples of people who've taken your advice well and it turned out to, produce good results?
I have worked with a bunch of companies. One of them is a library digitization. That's a hard word. Digitization company. You take library books, old library books, and digitize them. Wow, it's a hard word. They also do access control, all the fun library stuff. And so we've been able to get them on the first page for these unique keywords. You'd be surprised that the word digitization isn't just for libraries. It's general. It's not like authority control. It's very library-esque and stuff. Take my word for it. Because you're like, I didn't know that. But digitization
is more than just for libraries.
It is. You can digitize anything. So it could be like converting something. It could be like YouTube videos pop up. So we've got them ranking for library.
That word,
digitization. Just for the word digitization, we've gotten them on the first page. That's one of our big wins. We have a bunch of clients we've done a lot of stuff for like that.
So with the changes that I guess Google is going through some more, like what are some key things
every
that you
day
have to remember when trying to be successful with search engines, just in general?
Don't look every day. Look like once a month. I swear to God, you'll drive yourself nuts if you look every day. I look at my clients' stuff every 2 weeks. They're scattered. So this group gets the first 2 weeks or first and third week. And the other one gets the second and fourth week. And a little extra because there's sometimes a fifth week in there. And I'll look then. But I will not let them look at the rankings. I will generate a report, annotate the report for them once a month and show them where they are, where they want to be, where they may not be, what dropped, what went up, all that stuff. I will give to them and I will present it to them and spoon feed it to them so that they can breathe in between each good news and bad news thing. It's going to happen.
When you work with your clients, do you ever sit down and say, why, like, what's more important to you, to be on the front page or drive traffic? Because just because you're on the front page doesn't mean you're getting the traffic that you think you want. Like,
no, a lot of people are like, now with Google's continuous scroll, being on page 2 in air quotes used to be like you were on page 2. Now it's a top 50 lines of results are literally scrollable. So it really doesn't matter if you're in spot 20. Are you getting those leads? Are you getting those calls? Who cares where the hell you are? No one cares. As long as you're getting those clicks.
I mean, that's
the click-through rate. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Most important for me. Yeah, I need to know that they're getting there. Because then if I can get them there, then I have to figure out what's working and what's not to convert them to the next step of the journey, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I know that right now I'm totally lacking on some things on all of my websites. So no judgment. I'm just
but it's the shoe cobbler's dilemma.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
should see how many 404 errors I have on my website, and I rank despite it. I actually talked to people at Google, and they said literally, Seth, a 404 from, which is a not found page from 2009 is not going to hurt you. We don't give a crap. We don't care. It's what the current content is that matters. So if you have really old 404s, yeah, you should go back and 410 them, which means it's the content that's gone. Google don't penalize me for it, but it doesn't really matter eventually. In the long scheme of things, you don't have to go back and work at these 404s as much as it once was thought.
So, do you happen to know off the top of your head, like how much market share Google actually has of search engine users?
Like 80, 90%.
I figured that's what it was like because that's the only
Bing's
conversation we
catching
had.
up. Bing's catching up with their Chat GPT, Bing Chat, whatever they'll
Mm-hmm.
call it. They're a close second. They're not a close second. They're a distant second. And then DuckDuckGo is catching up, and it's the privacy browser with a cute duck for a mascot.
Right.
If you're gonna call it DuckDuckGo, it better be a duck.
Is Jeeves even still a thing? Like when there was
Ask is still out there, but I don't know. They don't have a gimmick, so that no one really looks at it.
Okay.
We are dating ourselves when we say Ask Jeeves.
I know.
That really dated us just then.
Well, my audience mostly is Gen X, except for those young millennial guys who are venturing out in startup land, and I'm sure they're just gonna like,
and
the hell are these Gen Xers talking about?
The Generation Z's are like, okay, boomer.
Right? I'm like, I'm not a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
Although every 4 weeks I kind of look like it until I go to my hairstylist, but I'm still a Gen Xer.
Love it.
So what are some really cool things that you've seen out there that you're like, oh, this is a really creative thing that can be applied to some of my clients? Where do you, what is it? Research and duplicate?
Yeah. Where do I get my inspiration? I look over Instagram. I'll look in. You'd be surprised what is inspiring. It doesn't have to be another website that inspires a website. It could be a photo. It's like, that's the kind of jive I want to go on that website. And so it's literally just, sometimes I look at my dog and it will be inspiration for me. I'll be like, oh, she did something silly. Oh, I should do something like that kind of movement on the website. Very, very bizarre things come to my head.
I have never heard anybody ever have that kind of inspiration for a website.
Oh, all the time. My dog inspires me constantly, and there's no rhyme or reason why. I blame it on my ADD, but it sparks something in my brain. I'm like, that's a good idea. I'm going to try on this website. I'm like, because you can now with WordPress, you can make things bounce around and stuff like that. You shouldn't, but you can. But if there's something like you want something to kind of interact in a certain way, or if you think, oh, maybe adding this twist, this plot point to the text might come up, you'd be surprised what you get inspiration from. A lot more, less from my dog, more from Instagram. But yeah,
so
and LinkedIn too.
Are you more of the user designer person, or are you the back end architect, or both?
A little bit of both. I mean, I started the business 15 years ago, and then I was doing everything myself. Now I have a small team of, what is it? We're 4 people now. I can't even remember. I call it the old brain here. But we do everything from soup to nuts. So we have to be able to scale. So I have my designers design. I'll help out with the design, get some input. I'm more the project manager right now. So that and biz dev.
What's the most important thing that you get from your clients when doing a website project?
The most important thing is their copy and their photographs on time. otherwise I'm scratching at like nothingness. No, the most important thing is I love when they see their site and it's done and they're happy. And they're like, oh, that's my site. Yay. That makes me happy. So
that's awesome. Okay. So now
their videos and their pictures and the content is very important to get up front.
Yeah. And And sometimes when I work with my clients, they don't have a clue what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause so then there's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm gonna put here.
So yeah, I'm shrugging and I'm like, I should smile at that and not give away my true feelings.
Oh,
Well,
I'm like, here, this, so
talk
what
to my
you're
copywriter. Talk to my copywriter, please.
right. I was like, you know what? Not a problem. The new price is this.
Yeah, there's a little bit more hand holding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, that's fine. We just need to clarify that stuff up front. Uh,
Amen.
so for those that are listening, if you don't have a clue, you find those services that are willing to work with you to guide you where you really want to
Yeah,
go.
we're like Sherpas. We really are.
Yeah.
Digital Sherpas.
All right. So what are some great examples of what not to do?
Not be prepared for the journey ahead. It's also not to be patient because it's a process. Everyone asks how long is this going to take? I say 4 to 6 weeks for the website, and then I'm like, but that's not how long it's going to take, and I pause because it's going to take 3 to 6 months because they're going to slow things down. And they're like, why is it us? I'm like, because it's always you guys. If you give me everything today, I can get it done in a week. Like I would prioritize it, get it done in a week, and like, oh, we're gonna get it to you in 2 weeks. I'm like, no, you're not. And like, how do you know that? Like, we will. I'm like, sure. 5 months later, the site goes live.
Uh-huh.
It's just the way it is.
Every time, every time.
And they just need to realize that it's a process and not to be nasty about it.
So, okay.
This has turned into a therapy session. I
Well,
love
I
it.
have two directions I want to go with this. It's do we we'll come back to you in a second. So with the entrepreneurs, and you're talking about patience in the process, how many conversations have you had? Let's just call it this year, where people are like, I don't have enough time in the day. It's not going as fast as I want. I should have been at this fill in the blank place by now. How many of those conversations do you have with entrepreneurs?
Oh, all the time. I mean, some have it figured out. The ones that have in the podcast seem to be over that hump, over the like the entrepreneurial hump. Not my friend Andrew McIntosh. That's his word, not mine. I'm not taking credit for the entrepreneurial hump here, but like you get over this hump and then you're kind of smooth sailing a little bit more. That's a lot of people who I have on my podcast that they're more experienced. But the young entrepreneurs are like they're up all hours of the night, they're working, they're hustling, and it happens all the time. All the time, they're like, "This is just the way it is," and you got to hustle till you make it, and then you hustle some more.
Because I'm looking at my own board, and I have a lot of brands. I have two businesses. I'm a speaker, author, plus the podcast show,
Yeah.
and each of my brands have separate, like, my big five moves that I
Yeah.
want to be able to do. And I'm like, fuck, I haven't even touched 2 to 3 of each of those things on the board. I'm like, maybe I should narrow that down to like 2 things for each brand to focus on a year. If I'm trying to do these, maybe I'm thinking bigger than or I just need more people.
Maybe sometimes more
Maybe
people help. Yeah.
more hands on deck. But it's also interesting as I look, I'm like, wait, I may not have the numbers I want for the show, but I've got 3 of my 5 done for the show.
Bravo.
I know, like, wait, I haven't next month is my I take a week in August and a week at the first of the year to do strategy for my own business.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to revisit all my numbers and stuff and see where I am with things. And that's kind of exciting. I'm like, oh wait, there is progress.
Nice. That's exciting. I love that.
Do you ever have people who use accountability partners?
Not as much as they should.
So,
I mean, a lot of them should have accountability partners, and they don't. And I'm like, you should, work on that. Because
I
then,
have one.
yeah.
She and I meet at 8 o'clock on Monday mornings. I know
Wow.
it's early for me and it's late for her, so it's our compromise.
Yeah.
And it helps so much because I'm not a poster child for patience. So when I get to this 8 o'clock conversation on Monday, me retelling things that are done and what is coming up is my point of there is progress.
Yeah.
Can be patient. Like even though there's baby steps, and she reminds me how far I've come.
Yeah, it's helpful. Yeah.
Year or two. And I'm like, okay. So when we're talking about patience, that might be a good hack for people out there. Get somebody to help.
Get an accountability partner. Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of them don't because they don't think I don't need to be accountable, or I don't know what accountability partner is going to help me with. Oh, just try it. I've done it in the past and it's been great.
Just knowing I got somebody I need to report to, and they're going to give me, she is going to give me that whole look.
Exactly.
All she has to do is look at me and like, why didn't you get your shit done? You said you were going to do.
Amen.
Okay, Seth, what do you wish you knew sooner?
This is hard. The entrepreneurship is hard. It's not an overnight success. The people who and I say, and we hit on this all the time in the podcast, that it's not an overnight success. People you think that have had it made in a year, it's been 5 or 6 of those years getting to that point. A lot of people, it's been decades, and it looks like an overnight success, but they've been at it for 12, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
And now they're having success, but there's been a lot of down times there. So I wish I knew that going into it, because I was like, oh, I'll just start a business and I'll be successful. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm 15 years into it. I'm getting there. But, it's also kind of humbling to realize that like it's not, no one's had an overnight success. And those who have are very much a rarity. And then they're not overnight success, usually like a week-long success.
It's the 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, it happens occasionally, but most of the time it's 20 years of success. So
I do want some longevity for this. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Although I do kind of joke about it. My retirement plan is I'll just go work at Disney.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Well, they used to have an attraction before Star Wars took over Hollywood Studios. They had an attraction about animation. And yes, the cast member who had you in one main room, Mushu from Mulan,
the
little dragon, would be on the screen, and the cast member interacted with the character.
I love that. Yeah.
They've kind of duplicated that a little bit with the Mickey's Runaway Railway. So when you get to a certain point, the cast members.
So you're a Disney person.
I am.
With Mickey in the background, yeah.
Yeah, and Groot. So
there you go.
So yeah, that would be my retirement plan.
Sounds like a plan. I don't know what my retirement plan is. I don't have one yet. Absolutely. One day.
Well, but really, do we as entrepreneurs ever really
no, you just go to the next thing. Right. You just go to the next scheme you're up to. Like I'll probably be podcasting well into my 70s.
Oh, you totally said.
If I'm not, or I'll be doing something with web design, or I'll be doing something as old.
Ooh, maybe holograms. Will it be holograms?
Maybe. Never know. Like I don't think I'll ever stop working per se. Yeah, I enjoy it. I like being creative.
Okay, so what are your thoughts about the whole virtual like metaverse?
Well, that's dead.
Is it?
I think we moved on to AI now. I think that was really short lived. I think the metaverse is not dead. Virtual reality still exists. I was being a little dramatic just then. I said it was dead. But I don't think it's what Zuckerberg should. I don't think he should have changed his whole company to Meta because of metaverse. Because I think he bet the whole farm, which he's trying to come back with Threads. But he's doing a good job of it. But it's not where we're not ready for it. We're not ready for being in a virtual world fully yet.
No, I don't think so. I remember. Do you remember Second Life?
Yeah, I used to love it, but I never put it on my head. I always put it on my computer.
No, never. When that first came out, one of the tasks I had as a marketing person for KFC is to get in there to see if there was if it was a viable media opportunity for KFC.
Ooh, it sounds like fun.
I had to explore. I'm like, where? So I had to do this whole report about here's all the places I see that you can put advertising in Second Life. I mean, there's billboards and you can do your events, and like there was everything was in there.
It's and still, and Second Life is still there.
It is still there, and they still do concerts and like just it's amazing what can be done virtually.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why it's not dead per se, but I don't think it's going to be, I think it isn't its time yet. We're not flying to Mars for 14, 15, 30 hours, how long it takes to fly to Mars. But a long time. We're not flying to the moon where we need like 2 days of something to do. And we looking outside the windows and fascinating enough, like whatever, so. I'm in outer space and floating around for 2 days. I don't need a headset for that. I'll be floating around space.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what technology can, bring about for us and all the opportunities. And I'm sure you'll stay on top of that because that whole digital.
I have to. I have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's on the horizon for you and your business this year or coming up, whenever?
That's a good question. It's figuring out whether or not I should even pay attention to Threads. I keep uninstalling it and reinstalling on my phone, dabbling with it, but I'm very, very big on the Fediverse. It's not the metaverse, the Fediverse. It's Mastodon. It's the federated version of social media. I'm very big on that because I feel like that's where things are going to go. It's going to go back to the 1990s where email was like kind of the thing where everyone, it didn't matter what server you were on, it didn't matter what, it was, you had an email address at said company, and that's where that other person would email you at. That's all that the Fediverse is. It's your name at whatever server you're on. People are like, oh my God, I don't get the Fediverse. It's not that hard. It's email. Yeah, I'm not very opinionated, am I?
So you're not near as direct as I am, are you?
I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a Northeasterner. We're worse than the Kentuckians.
Oh, look, I am not the genteel person around here. I'm very country about it. I don't beat around the bush. I don't play the politics game because usually my face just won't hold it in. I don't have to say a whole lot. They know if I'm like, they know what that whole what the fuck look is on my face, or she's just gotten pissed. You might want to step back. No, I don't. And when I have to have hard conversations, I try to do it tactfully but quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm not afraid of being direct. It's not very ladylike.
Oh, screw that. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what is it? Well-behaved women rarely make history.
Amen. Eleanor Roosevelt was not a well-behaved woman, and she made history.
And that's kind of my plan.
Jackie O was not. She appeared very well-behaved, but she wasn't. She made history. I mean,
well, I'm hoping to at least leave some sort of mark on the world.
Yeah, I think you will. So.
Well, Seth, thank you for helping me make a mark on the world today.
Oh, nice segue. I like that.
It's a great one.
This has been so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am so much appreciate your time on this. We'll include all your information so everybody knows how to connect with you.
Nice. Very cool.
Yep. We'll
reach out. I don't bite. So
right.
Reach out.
Go listen to Entrepreneurs Enigma on the MPN Network or Marketing Podcast Network. It's not MPN Network. Anyway, go find me.
Same. Yeah, you can find me over entrepreneursenigma.com. Even easier. So.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Seth, thanks so much for today.
Yeah, this is so much fun.
We'll have to do it again at some point. I'll reach out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for joining us for the Summer of Strategy series on Small Business Success Talk. Remember to share us with your network, leave us a great review, and subscribe for the latest episodes.